You are looking at video which can only be described as horrific. 7 teenagers ganging up on one 13-year-old boy, pushing him, hitting him, humiliating him, bullying him, and all of it caught on tape. Well, the assailants have all been arrested, and now the man responsible for those arrests, Superintendent Michael Chitwood of the Upper Darby Police Department, joins us here on It's Your Call with his thoughts about the bullies caught on tape. We have heard it all before, kids bullying other kids, sometimes so badly it drives the victims to the brink of suicide or worse. This time, though, we witness it firsthand. You are looking at video of a brutal bullying assault. And if this doesn't bring home to you just how rampant this problem is these days, I don't know what will. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Lynn Doyle, and if you've watched this show even occasionally over the years, you know that this kind of thing absolutely outrages me. I just don't get it. I don't know why kids do this kind of thing to each other, and apparently they're very proud of it when they do. In fact, this video was shot on a cell phone with the intention of apparently posting it on YouTube. YouTube! That means the assailants, or at least the videographer, wasn't in the least embarrassed or ashamed of what was being done to the young man on the ground. Well, they should be, and the local police apparently thought so too. The suspects were later taken into police custody because the cops in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania have said enough is enough. Lieutenant Michael Chitwood joins us first this hour to share his opinions on what should be done with these perpetrators. He is the superintendent of police in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. Superintendent, thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome.
It was your decision to release that very disturbing video to the media. Why?
I wanted people to see firsthand what bullying was about. I mean, obviously it was an aggravated case of it, but that it's not something that these kids should be proud of, and it's a crime, and we're going to treat them like criminals, and we did. And I thought that that was important to get that message out there, that these types of things could lead to a tragedy and have led to tragedies.
In fact, you were quoted as saying that these suspects were lucky they didn't kill this poor boy.
In the video, as you go toward the end of the video, when they're trying to hang him on this fence, wrought iron fence that has these spear-like instruments on the top of it, they could have impaled his neck, they could have impaled his head, they could have impaled his back, and then they would have been looking at a homicide charge.
Do you think that people will take bullying more seriously when they see it firsthand like this, as opposed to hearing about the cases like Phoebe Prince in Massachusetts or Megan Meyer out in the Midwest? I
think we're a society that wants to visualize what the issue is, and this visualizes it at its worst. And we talked about before we showed it what the ramifications would be, and looking at it based on my experience, I knew this was going to take a life of its own, and it did. And I would say to you, overwhelmingly, the comments that I got are all positive. Thank you for showing it. Thank you for locking them up. You take no nonsense, take no prisoners type thing. And the purpose was to show what bullying is. I mean, obviously they're showing it to get their 15 minutes of fame, and they wanted to put it on YouTube, but fortunately we got it before it was able to be put out there.
And we should mention, while this is very disturbing to watch, it has been released nationally and has appeared on all the national cable outlets and news outlets as well. But we also are airing this with the permission of the victim and his parents, and for us that was very important. They actually were scheduled to be on our show, and because of some legal aspects of the case now, they're not able to appear, but they gave permission, and you've talked to them about that.
I have, and you know, we worked very closely with them from the day the incident happened until we made the arrest. So we kept in constant contact with them. I personally spoke to the mom and the young man several times, assuring them that we would make sure that they were protected, and if there were any issues, to call us directly.
Now, you made the decision not only to arrest the suspects, but to do it in a very, I don't want to say grandiose, but in a very deliberate manner. Tell me about that decision.
When I saw the video, I was outraged that other kids would do this type of activity to another youth.
Right.
And again, the thing that bothered me most was the fact that they could have killed him when they were trying to hang him by impaling him. The second thing that bothered me and outraged me was no community members stood forward. Nobody called 911. Nobody intervened. Later on, after the incident, the young man was driven home by a woman who came on the scene, and we don't know who that woman is. And I said,
in fact, not to interrupt you, but there are times when we've seen this from start to finish that you can see spectators or individuals walking in the background quite clearly observing it and then going the other way.
Right.
I can see why you would be outraged, because it outrages me.
And when you hear the young man screaming, this was a kid who was being terrorized. This was a kid who was in fear. And I said to my staff, I said, we have to make an example of these guys. They're not, you know, going to be folk heroes because they're on YouTube or made the video of this. And they want to be criminals, we'll treat them like criminals. And the deal was to go into the school when they were in school, take them out in handcuffs, put them in the back of a police wagon, red lights and sirens leaving the school, so that the other students could see that this was not a joke and we weren't going to tolerate it.
Now, you know, I bet you're going to get a lot of response, not just from this show, but from all over the country, as you have been getting, that that's exactly the message that you might need to send to these kinds of bullies. Now, I know that there's been an update in the legal case that just came down. We should point out that this bullying incident actually happened in January, but just recently there was some resolution regarding some of the suspects. Can you bring us up to date on that?
Well, we charged 7. And we charged them with very serious crimes: kidnapping, criminal restraint, unlawful restraint, assault. And 5 of them have pled guilty to unlawful restraint, simple assault, recklessly endangering another person, and criminal conspiracy. 1 charges were dropped. Apparently they dropped the charges of the person videotaping it. And the 7th individual refused to plead guilty. He wants to go to trial, so we will have a trial in juvenile court on the 7th individual. This was worked out with the consent of the victim and his family. Okay, we're going to talk more about that, but first I do want to involve our viewers. You have heard from the superintendent now. Now we're going to give you an opportunity to tell us what you think or to share your experience. In your opinion, what's the best way to deal with bullies like this? Do you agree with arresting them? Do you want to see jail time for them? Or do you think it's a sign that the bullies themselves need help and compassion and understanding? If you think so, whatever your opinion is, you can email me directly right now at lynn@lynndoyle.net. You can also find us on Facebook. We Twitter about this, and we are on YouTube. Fortunately, this video did not get on YouTube. That really would have been disturbing. How was it that it came to your attention before the young people were allowed to get it onto YouTube? Well, what happened, the incident occurred on January the 11th, and the mom and the son, the victim, called police, and we interviewed them the night of the 11th. When we interviewed the young man, he gave us the names of 4 of the individuals, full names, and then the first name of 3 of them, because they all went to the same school. And as a result, we contacted school security. They gave us the names of all 7, and then during the collaboration between the Upper Darby Police Department and school security, one of the 7 said, "Oh yeah, we videotaped it. It was a cell phone videotape. We got the cell phone, and we came up with the video that we've shown." Okay, on that note, I do have to take a quick break. As we go to break, we are going to share with you a statement that we got from the family of the bullying victim. And when we come back, we'll have some expert advice on what to do if someone you know is being bullied. All of that coming up just 2 minutes away. Stay with us.